So my name is Bryce Hakkesteegt. I'm 35 years old. I farm with my wife Dana, our four kids, my parents, my sister and brother-in-law, and their two kids. I grew up on our family farm. I've always had a desire to farm ever since I was little. I attended Kemptville College and graduated with a diploma in agriculture. I'm third generation operating our family farm and the fourth generation coming along. My grandparents started with a layer and pullet poultry farm. My parents transitioned into managing, which saw a number of different changes. We've seen layers, pullets, a berry patch, and the commercial beef cattle herd, as well as cash cropping. And currently, we are now managing a broiler poultry operation with a purebred cow-calf Charolais herd and a purebred cow-calf shorthorn herd with cash cropping as well. One of the big challenges is the increasing amounts of regulations and paperwork that we are to do, whether it's consumer or society's influence. As the years have gone on, the increasing of our audits and occurrence and quantities, and now adding in an animal welfare portion, which is all good, and we need to see this. However, it has become a large part of our bookkeeping on our farm. Another challenge is being financially able to stay current with technology and infrastructure, whether it's at somebody starting up a new farm or current farms trying to maintain an existing operation to stay current. And then lastly, our labor force for load out at times seems to be sparse for our poultry side of things. It hopefully will improve with companies moving to modular loading, as not as many catchers are needed, as well as the truck drivers' responsibilities seem to be changed for the better. Mostly our industry personnel. Our farm has a good relationship with a few companies, but a good example for getting a whole bunch in one spot would be industry shows like the London Poultry Show. Obviously on typical non-COVID years, we would be able to go and see everything in one spot, which is very, very beneficial. Also industry magazines and newspapers, and then obviously talking to other fellow farmers, whether it's locally or virtually. Our barn computers have really had a big impact. We have a SCOBE operating system in our barns. Everything is automated from feed, water, heating, air quality, lights, etc. And then also with that, we have remote access with our cell phone, so everything's at our fingertips, and we can even change settings and stuff through our phone for the barns. And then just our overall, our new facilities and the equipment that has come along the way with them. Our single-story barns are nice to manage while the birds are in the barn, but also clean out is really faster. Our overall facilities and the general equipment that we have, our single-story barns are nice to manage while the birds are in the barn, but also clean out goes very fast. With clean out, a nice addition has been our telehandler. It is the manure can be dusty, so being in a cab has been a real big benefit for that. And then another one is our solar power on our poultry barns through the microfit and fit programs that came out 10 years ago or so. This has made us financially capable to complete some of the purchases and builds that got us to where we are today. And then lastly, just over the years, the improved quality of inputs, whether it's crops going into the ground, fertilizer, or other products being used for our land, feed going into various livestock we house, the quality of inputs will always greatly affect the quality of outputs that we're able to provide. And even like for an example, down to the straw that we produce as a bedding, it will affect the quality of that straw will affect the production of our poultry operation. So on our farm currently, we've been on the Raise Without Antibiotics program for about 5 years or so now. Seems to be the direction that the industry is going. So research and improvements in this area would be very beneficial. Also dead stock options. This is becoming increasingly difficult to find off-farm rendering services. And then the latest innovations for composting our dead stock have gotten mixed or are getting mixed reviews. So improvements there would be beneficial. And then lastly, just making any innovations more cost effective for implementation. So mainly making things cost effective. And then similar to where we get our innovation ideas would be best to inform industry personnel about ideas so that they can pass them along to farmers. And then also having data in ag magazines, newspapers, online, where farmers can see results and get to possibly thinking about whether or not that research or innovation will be beneficial for their farm or not. So again, financially, it has to make sense as a balance between financial gain or loss and labor gain or lost, and balance between the costs versus the benefit of the animal as well. For any implementation to happen, it has to positively affect the animal, the workers, and the cost needs to be justifiable. Biggest thing I think is learn the industry, ask questions, talk to farmers or industry reps. Don't assume that you know the struggles and issues that are presently facing the industry. It changes all the time. So some academic concerns or issues are not going to be very well applied to actual on-farm practices. So it's better to know the industry and put the research towards something that will be useful on farm than to work hard at something to find out that it's not practical or at a farm scale. Yeah, I think the public perception of farmers, like we're trying to raise a quality product with what we know best. And that definitely does change over time of what we do know. And I think it's changing for the better and improving for the better. Just the labor force as well. I think there's not as many that want to do as much as the physical labor that needs to be done. So I think that's going to be huge in the future of for jobs.